billion. And now the market, oh, it went to zero.
Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Turn your savings into scraps. Don't get rug pulled. They be plotting on your racks. Whoa, whoa. We gon' know where we at. New USB for my racks. Not slipping, no, I never let. VPN changed the map. He lying, you know that he kept. I know he be hacking. Look at the way I check. The same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in.
Damn!
That's the same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of FUDDERS. This is our weekly live stream where we talk about all of the bad news that's gone on in the NFT and crypto spaces over the past week. And our special guest this week is the one and only Dr. Strange, the VeVe OG and YouTube content creator. Before we get to our co-hosts BE and Mo, who are with us as well, we're gonna get a little bit of background on Dr. Strange. If you guys have not already subscribed to his YouTube channel, it is linked in the description below. Dr. Strange, for the people who are in the chat that don't know anything about you yet, before we get into all of our topics of the day, do you want to let them know about how you discovered VeVe, what type of stuff you collect on the app, and tell them a little bit about your YouTube channel as well?
Oh man, first of all, gotta say shout out to you, shout out to all the co-hosts, shout out to the chat, shout out to the VeVe fam. You know what I'm saying? Man, all right, so how did I find VeVe? I was on Twitter. I'm in a group with a couple of friends. We all participated in daily fantasy sports together. We had a company. We were lineup providers at one point. And in the background, we're always discussing, new projects, new things to get into. So at the time, I think they were talking about Top Shot and also VeVe. Not really from the crypto side of OMI or anything like that. I know a lot of people like to say they found VeVe through OMI. But personally, I wasn't really feeling crypto. I just felt like it was a little too unregulated. And when I did dive in, it was just a lot of moving parts. So even when it came to crypto, I was like the dude, only buying if it was on Coinbase and all that stuff, like really avoiding, the real Wild Wild West. But anyway, I found it just through some of my guys, you know what I'm saying? We were pretty early. October, what was it? December, November. I think it was, might have got in like March, like early March or something like that.
Nice.
But it was on my radar like a month before, but I didn't officially like download the app or anything till March. And at that time, there was no marketplace. It was closed. There was no feed, I don't even think. All you could do is just look at what was in the store, sold at some point. And I just stayed on the app until they announced the first drop for us, which I think was the DeLorean. And that was a crazy drop. So yeah. So what else did you ask? What I like to collect or something like that? Guys, two more questions. I know one was the channel.
You always do stacking or slacking on your YouTube channel about all the VeVe comic drops. So I'm assuming you select comic, or that you collect comics on the app.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm almost about to hit 700 soon.
Wow, let's go.
So yeah, I was there for the first Marvel Comics 1 drop. I actually go back and watch that video, but I don't know why. It's like stuck in my playlist, like it just comes up, and I just click on it every time because it's like it just brings me back to a crazy time, man. And it's stuck on somewhere in the middle of the video where you're like, man, if people are dumping these for 2-3 gems in the aftermarket, I'm just gonna pick these up. And I'm just watching it like, oh my God, like
And I only
Oh,
bought like 10 or 12, I think. I should have bought like 40 or 50 of them. But
right.
I was telling people,
Right.
like, why are y'all sleeping on these? Not only is it the first comic on the app, it's Marvel comic #1. What are y'all
Yeah.
doing? And I knew people like you that were comic book collectors in the physical world who know a little bit about it. We're not going to sleep on these either. Before we get started, though, let me show everybody your Twitter account if you guys haven't followed them. It's just like it sounds, Dr. Strange, at Dr. Strange. And Dr. Strange, do you collect on any other platform since you're into comics? Are you into DC Palm?
Yeah, I'm in the DC Palm also. I'm got accounts almost on everything out there, man. You know, Terra Virtua, Nifty's, One of. I'm all over the place, man. You know, but I'm not too
stacking and
leveraged.
stacking.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying not to be too over leveraged in any one particular area. But VeVe is my first love, and to me, this is not about IP and IP wars. Like for me, it's about the end product. You know what I'm saying? Because VeVe could have NBA and Quid could have NBA. And there's a difference between me having a LeBron James card on Quid and me having a 3D statue on VeVe, animated or something. Duncan, you know, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Plus, it's on the same app with other big names like Disney and Marvel as well. Let's go. Shout out to Dr. Strange. If you guys have not already subscribed to his channel, the link is in the description, and it's called All Things Strange. You can see BE's got a UFO behind him. Me and Dr. Strange DM each other every once in a while talking about some UFO videos we saw. So we thought we would talk about UFOs in general as one of our topics today. So that's going to be interesting when we get to that. We have a couple other topics to get to first, and of course we got to get to our my favorite co-host over here. We got BE from the VeVe Drop channel and MoKnowz. So before we get to you guys, let's get into our first topic. Our first topic is about the VeVe community, and in particular, people complaining, or maybe the FUD is actually people doing it, and that is taking profits and flipping stuff after an artist passed away. And we saw that one of the original VeVe artists, Mr. Frank Kozik, who I was a big fan of, suddenly passed away last week. And some people got straight into the market and picked up some of his items. The prices pumped. And some people sold off to make profits. Of course, other people already had those NFTs in their accounts, and they took the profits too because of the pump. We can see one tweet here from my homie Cray, who says it was disgusting. And he said that he will never buy from these accounts. He's keeping track of who did it, so he can't buy from them. You got Cavell Anderson, who also thinks that they're leeches and that he's disgusted by it. He says that y'all can group up and gang up together all day long like these, like the shits. I don't know what that means, but okay. But this is why I look down on so many of you. You're simply not respectable people. You'll be broke and mad forever. Before I get into my opinion on it, I'm going to swing it around to you guys. We're going to actually start a poll on every topic we do today. So I'll start the poll up while we're getting to everybody else's opinions. And I'll start with BE from the VeVe Drop channel. What do you think about the whole idea of making profits or taking profits after an artist pass away?
I mean, I thought about this. I mean, I certainly went right on when I heard to look just to see what was going on, and I figured things would be pumping. I mean, this market is driven by people making money, and this is going to happen no matter what. Yeah, it's a little disgusting. On the other hand, that's what this is. If people are going to look at this as an investment, they're going to say, if there's an opportunity, why not take it? I mean, it shows that there aren't a lot of collectors out there, and they're really out here to make money. It's hard. I mean, like I said, I don't personally like it, but it's going to happen. I mean, how are we going to prevent something like this in the community from happening? If somebody dies, somebody's going to take advantage of it. Somebody else is going to see it. And it's going to be this like snowball effect of people just following and selling. If you see, the prices have all come back down, which I'm happy because I actually want to go back in and pick up some stuff. There's been stuff I've been looking to get for a while. Even before he died, I still like his stuff. So I even have a physical item of his that I bought last year. So yeah, it's not great, but I mean, we have to expect it. It's going to happen in this market. I don't know how to stop it. People are going to do it. So
I mean, technically, VeVe could stop it. Maybe they could put a pause on buying and selling of his items for a couple of weeks. I'm in a few baseball autograph Facebook groups, and there's one in particular, the biggest one, that when a Hall of Famer passes away, they will put a stop on it for 2 weeks for buying and selling his autographs. Most of them won't, though. And of course, like BE said, the market's going to move anyway. So if everybody else is going to get to take all these profits, you don't. That makes you the good guy. The guy who doesn't get the money is the good guy. Where do you stand, Mo?
I mean, my take on it is pretty simple. I mean, I kind of agree with B. You know, the market's gonna move. People are gonna make their money. I mean, honestly, if that's how you do it, then that's how you do it. You know, I don't do it, and that's just me. But you know what? I can't do this anymore, guys. Oh my god. I got a secret. I gotta confess, guys. I gotta get it off my chest. Gotta get it off my filthy skeleton chest, guys. I can't. I've been hiding. I've been living with the shame
He's coming out of his shell
of being the shame of being a Moon Boys, guys. I can't do it. I've been talking about some of you guys in chat. You might know this. I've been talking about the gauntlet. I've been talking about it being my ride to the moon, my saving grace. And I know we're gonna get to it later, but I might not be here. I gotta get this off my chest. When I took the gauntlet, I put it in augmented reality, and I found that if I got really freaking baked and I walked inside of it, that's where I am right now. I am actually in the Gauntlet space station.
Let's go.
That is where I'm joining. So basically what's happening is I told you I'm going to ride off into the sunset. So I'm basically waiting for a delivery of weed tomorrow. I got 2-3 more things to wrap up, and I'm out. So this is actually going to be my last appearance here on FUDDERS. Oh, wait, the fuck? Oh, shit, I hit that button. Yo,
not that button.
Yo, that's the launch. Yo, no. No.
Don't leave
Yo,
us.
stop this shit. Yo, stop this. Yo, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, what the fuck? God. Yo.
Mo, you didn't even invite me. What the hell?
Doc. Doc. Send me some weed, bro.
No. That's good. No, it's not good at all.
For real, man. He's blowing up, man.
Oh, man.
Poor Mo. That's what happened.
He's gone.
Well, then again, he's a skeleton, so what else is gonna happen? He's undead. Welcome back, Mo.
Come back.
On the moon.
Now
He's like
the moon.
That's how you get there, right?
That's where I landed, bro.
Wow. Shout
Man,
out to Mo. He is now a moon boy. He did say last week that he was retiring from VeVe, and just 7 days later, my man is a moon boy. That's the power of the gauntlet. It snaps one time and it changes everything. Shout out to MoKnowz.
We're back.
If you guys have not subscribed to MoKnowz's YouTube channel, check it out. The description. It's in the description. He is my co-host for Friday's Photo Finish live streams, and he also has been killing it over there on Kick.com, which is a new streaming website. All right, we're getting to you, Dr. Strange. I want to see your opinion or hear your opinion before I give you mine on the whole idea of being able to buy and sell an artist's NFTs after they pass away. I know you're an artist, so I mean, how would you feel about it if people were flipping your stuff after you passed away?
Man, I mean, they say that, artists blow up more in death than life, right? So, I mean, the way NFTs are structured, whether these sales happen, whether I'm alive or dead, I mean, the good part is if everything is the way it should be, if I blow up as a bigger IP or entity after I die and my NFTs are moving, so be it, man. That just means my family is doing better than when I was alive. You know what I'm saying? Because those royalties should be decent, flowing back and forth on the blockchain. So
I don't think Cozy gets royalties though, does he?
Well, we're talking NFTs. So if we're talking like the NFT I have myself that I made, that's on my OpenSea, like I get paid every time that gets bought and sold, right? So it depends on what we're talking about. Now, if you're just saying Cozy per se, that's different. I would answer totally different. But as an artist myself, that's how I would have to answer. But as far as his situation and this whole topic, like, I don't think it's wrong for anybody to sell or buy. Like me, I'm more the type of person when someone dies, I like to buy. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have already. And I'm kind of like you, Vault, where I wanted the Labacorn for a while, and I'm like just kicking myself because that thing went down to like $35, I think, at one point. And I'm sitting there looking at it. But at the same time, it was other drops coming and comics out there and all types of stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to get it. And then same exact thing happened to me. As soon as the news broke, I went to check on it. It was already at $100. So I was like, damn, so I went and did the next best thing, to pay homage. I bought me a Choice Cuts. I bought me the military one. I went out and bought me a couple robots and called it a day, man. Like, in order for me to buy, someone has to sell, right? So I'm grateful that somebody's selling to me. So it's all perspective, like,
That's true, 100%. Shout out to Tony with the big super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, my man. I agree exactly with what Dr. Strange said. Personally, I think if you already collected that, artist stuff and you had a whole bunch of labbits, like maybe you got a big stack, maybe you're a well, and they pump, then that's kind of your payoff for being such a collector. I mean, you get to cash in a little bit. Doesn't mean you're selling them all. And like Dr. Strange, I was the same way. I went in to go get me a Labracorn. They had already pumped to like 150. But surprisingly, if you look at them now, the prices have come back down. So it was just pumpers and dumpers and not the fact that he was a famous artist who passed away that was really bringing up those prices, which is cool with me because now I can go back and buy one.
Right. Yeah, but real quick, because I had a premature launchulation. But I don't really have I don't have much of an issue with it, but like you just said, right? People are gonna know. People see the names on the market. They know who's doing this shit. If you're like taking money off your kids' dinner table and you're like, I gotta buy every Kozik NFT and make profit on this guy's death. I mean, again, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror in the morning. Like that's on you, right? But again, the people that were holding and stacking, right? Like yeah, if you're gonna make some money on it, from what I hear, probably would have wanted it that way, right? Seemed like a cool dude. So. That being said, I'm back on the moon. Oh, hello.
Yeah, I hear that point too because I take my personal experience from it. When I heard about it, I was like kind of researching what happened, seeing other people's reactions. It was 30 or 45 minutes before I thought, oh, what about prices? But other people, that was the first thing that popped in their head. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Everybody does things their own way. And some people are more connected to
each other, though. We all need each other, you know what I mean? At the same time, because you need, people that are slow to get news, but are, they want to react and participate in the market still. True. So some people are like such fans, but they didn't, hop in or take the chance when it was there before. Sometimes they feel like I really am a fan of this person, even though I don't own anything yet right now per se.
Right.
But whatever the price is right now, I'm going to show like, I'm going to pay that price right now, especially before it keeps running up more, which is what it kind of had the appearance of. That's what it was doing. You know what I mean? Obviously it went from 30 to 100. So this, again, either a bunch of people listed or more people started buying more than were listing. And that's how it got to 100 from 30 within like minutes.
Yeah, those people who didn't mind paying extra, they're probably the ones that are going to be holding on to them too. So
right,
it's all good. Right. All right, so the final results of the poll for where do you stand on this situation. Most of the chat, 68% say they don't have a problem with people flipping it. Only 12% actually flip some themselves, and 21% of the say no, you shouldn't be doing it. Flipping is wrong. I know a couple polls I saw about it, it was about 50-50, so people were split on the whole idea of whether you should be doing that or not. But let's move on to our next topic, which is DC Palm, which all four of us here are collectors on the platform. I'm a big fan of DC Palm. And I noticed that Legacy, which is an OG on the DC Palm platform, recently tweeted about the news of Bat Cow saying that by the end of Q2, we're still not going to be able to receive our own keys and get self-custody of our NFTs. And the reason why this has become kind of a situation is because just recently, back in March, Matt Mason had tweeted out that third-party wallet support is coming, last time I heard, this half of 2023. So, of course, when you say this half, you would think by the end of Q2, which, of course, third-party wallet support means that you can move your cows, comics, and all other NFTs onto MetaMask and sell them on OpenSea and such. And as a follow-up, even said, I just double-checked, and yes, 100%. But of course, it says the timeline is to be determined. So it is the half. It is the end of Q2, and we still don't have self-custody of our NFTs over on DC Palm. Something else that was pointed out was even in the terms of service, or if you get into the frequently asked questions and you found out more information about those fandom discs, the DC fandoms, we were actually supposed to be able to burn those like a year ago, and we still haven't had the ability to burn those as well. So I wanted to get everybody's opinion on it. I'm going to start up a poll on this topic as well while we go around and hear from the panel what they think about it. The question is going to be, which one do you think is going to get self-custody first? Do you think VeVe will get self-custody before DC Palm? Or do you think DC Palm will get self-custody before VeVe? Or do you just not care? Mo, I'll start with you. Where do you stand on the whole idea of self-custody? Who do you think is going to get it first? And do you have a problem with the delay that's happening over there on Palm?
Hold on a second. I'm just going to bash my head against the freaking wall that we do every week where we talk about NFTs and interoperability and fucking self-custody. everybody claims they want it, but they really don't.
Right.
And if you do want to cash out right now, honestly, what the hell are you even doing here? Not everything that, when it comes to like some of these comics, so if you're not holding them for long term and you don't really truly believe and you need interoperability right now, whatever. I mean, that's on you. But I'm gonna collect them. I don't care if it comes this year, next year, 4 years from now. I'm good. Just give me a couple years. Let me stack my comics. Let me get everything in line. Then they can do it. That being said, I would assume that DC would do it before or Palm before VeVe, mainly because I think VeVe is gonna they're gonna have more of like a click here to sign in with your Google account type of deal, where that VeVe that's not interoperability, but it's like a pass, like a link. All right. I truly believe that's what NFTs will always be. I don't know if we'll get this whole like, hey, let me pass it around like a cheap hooker and just send it over here to OpenSea and then back to my MetaMask and over here to IMX, right? Like, we don't need that, right? We just need an option to link the accounts and verify the ownership, because then people could drive around in their freaking $30 Lamborghini Diablos in the VeVeverse or whatever game, links up with that application, right? But DC does need it because they don't have an app. They don't have like a game metaverse type of deal. They are just like a comic collectible platform. So for them, I think they will get it first. They need to get it first, but I don't really need it for a couple of years. What else did you ask me?
I'm stuck on a couple of years. You don't need it for a couple of years. I would like to be able to sell these comics, these Superman #1s and these uncommons on OpenSea as soon as possible. Shout out to all the homies in the chat.
No, homie, I ain't trying to retire for like 20 years, man. Get out of here.
Hey, man, those prices are gonna pump next bull run anyway. We need to be on OpenSea by the next bull run. That's just
I'll sell one of my three. How many left? 3 left. I'll sell one of them.
You got more than me.
The rest
of
the
Supermans.
The rest are coming with me, man. They're all coming with me.
BE, what do you think about it? Who do you think is going to get self-custody first? And are you upset about DC Palm announcing another delay on it?
So I definitely think DC is going to be first. I think they're set up. I think with the way VeVe is, with the big IPs, it's going to be hard to do that with everything, right? Maybe individually you might have certain things. DC is going to be able to make that decision for all their stuff. I really don't care. I mean, I feel like self-custody is self-destruction. For me, I'll screw up, I'll lose it, I'll do something stupid. And really, people want that to make money, right? The reason you want self-custody is because you think you're gonna make more money on OpenSea and all of that stuff. And hopefully somebody doesn't hack your account and take it. So for me, I really don't care. I like this centralized stuff. I like VeVe's market. Feel much safer doing that. So for me, self-custody doesn't mean much. I know for some of the bigger players out there, self-custody is everything. So for me, I don't care, but I definitely think DC is going to be the first one to be able to execute that.
Yeah, I think DC is aiming towards doing it right away, and VeVe is kind of like, we're not sure if we're doing it at all. Right. I don't know how big your account is, Dr. Strange, on DC Palm. Do you have a lot of good stuff there? And what do you think about this whole argument between who will get self-custody first?
As far as DC Palm, only thing I don't have is that was that Action Comics 1 or whatever that was.
Superman 1?
Yeah. Superman 1? Yeah.
So I don't have that. Everything else, I have everything else pretty much.
Wow, nice.
Just different rarities. I have legendaries, epics, whatever, different books. But overall, I really don't care, man. I didn't get into any of this stuff, honestly, to even make money. I didn't even know how you can make money at first. You know what I mean? When I got on VeVe, it was like I was buying stuff off the site, from eBay, right, and just people transferring and and then I was like, okay, now that I have it, I really don't even know what this is worth. There was no market to compare it to be like, okay, I paid $150 for this. Maybe it's worth $300. Then I would have thought about flipping it, but it was, it took me a little while to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I was thinking when I got into these projects that none of this stuff would be ready for at least 5 years. And then it wouldn't be profitable to sell anything for like 10 years. So these 2 crazy runs that I've seen happen on VeVe within the last couple of years, I didn't even expect. And I honestly didn't fall into too much. Like I didn't sell too much when we hit those pumps. You know what I mean? I just sold stuff here and there to get other stuff, But other than that, whatever. I think DC is going to be first. Just because, like both you guys said, they kind of have to be. And they don't have as many moving parts as VeVe to focus on. So it's easier for them to just target something like that and get it done. As far as self-custody goes, I agree with you guys also. I think it's something people are asking for and really don't want. They don't fully understand what's involved, how vulnerable it leaves you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything else, man. The more you're able to move around, the more you're able to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So the way I look at it is like, what's the allure of OpenSea, right? Because when I did look at OpenSea, all these miscellaneous project, 8-bit characters for millions of dollars, I'm sitting here like, why? You know, it's all Ponzi schemes, money laundering, all of that's going on over there because I don't know who this artist is. Like me, it's not always about the art or how something look. I want to know who the artist is. Are they going to be around? Are they just trying to make something real quick? Like, what is going on? And nobody ever asks these questions about who makes these NFTs and these projects. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you have these things called rug pulls happen, and I'm just sitting here in VeVe like, well, okay, I didn't make millions of dollars, but I'm not subjected to all of this craziness. So when people talk interoperability and all this stuff, I'm sitting here saying, for what? Like, you just had the opportunity 2 cycles on VeVe, if you did your thing right, to make lots of money. So what's the difference between making money on VeVe and OpenSea? Okay, the argument is there's deeper pockets on OpenSea because they got crypto money, which is all fake anyway, whatever, right? So we're using all of this fake money, right? So you want to take something owned by Marvel and let someone who got their money through fake credit cards or who knows what, drugs, whatever, they laundered their money and turned it into crypto. You want that to get fused and bind it in with Marvel IP? That's not gonna happen, bro. And
you
then
preach, man. That's right.
My other argument to it is this: like, who exactly is on OpenSea that you care about so much? Like, who is that who are these people with all this crypto money, right? Okay, they got crypto money. So what's the big deal if VeVe opens up the option to bring in the crypto money that y'all want so bad from OpenSea people? So now your argument is, why even go to a crappy marketplace like that? I don't even like how the website look. I don't like all of this hidden NFTs, and then people are dropping stuff in my box that I didn't even get my wallet to, and then I'm sitting here like, well, did you send this to me? No, you didn't send it to me. Then I'm not opening it, and then 2 days later, the NFT is gone.
Yep.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, I know there was an NFT there that nobody I know made. What is going on? You know, I don't want to deal with all of that. Like, give me a closed system. Let me own different NFTs in different places. So my OpenSea NFTs that's made by all types of people, and I have my own NFT there. That's what my NFT is. Like, that's fine. Let that stay over there. Now, would I love to bring my NFT on the VeVe? Yeah, but at the same time, I'm going to want to make my NFT based around whatever technologies VeVe has at the time. So my NFT currently is just a video, you know, it's visuals playing with audio. That's cool. But what if the technology, when VeVe opens all this stuff up to independent artists, is letting you build 3D environments and make a video and do all this? I'm not even going to be thinking about my OpenSea NFT. I'm not going to care. I'm going to want to build this with the structure with my royalties, a set amount to be sold like we currently do. I'm going to want to do a Q system drop or whatever we're doing, have a big announcement, have a party. I'm not going to be thinking about them NFTs over there in OpenSea. So it's so many different perspectives because I got the artist mind, I got the collector mind, I got the guy that's buying stuff. You know, I'm all over the place, man. I'm wearing all these different hats, all these different thoughts. But yeah, overall, I'm good where I'm at, man. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see... I think we have more to lose by being able to transfer our stuff all over the place than what's the gain. Because I think, first of all, we don't control what's going to happen. And I think that VeVe's going to accommodate us as best as possible based on the law and the technologies available at the time. And I'm sure they're going to keep moving with the times. That's the whole thing. It's like where we are right now it's not always where we're going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if somebody has something like a Secret Rare Miles Morales, a Secret Rare Amazing Fantasy 15, those are worth a lot of money. And if they're new to the space and they're taking it out with self-custody, put it in their MetaMask, and they get a wallet drainer, they get on OpenSea and they get some funny NFT like you were talking about, they lose everything. They're going to bring it back to VeVe and they're going to be really upset about it. It's going to kill sentiment. So, I mean, I can see that argument as well. I also wanted to touch on something else you mentioned. I was in the same boat as you when I first got into this. It's funny how when I first got into Omi and VeVe. Omi was my short-term play to get rich quick, and the NFTs was my long-term play that were going to be worth a bunch in 10 or 20 years. But somehow or another, during the bull run, that switched up. Omi became my long-term play, and the NFTs became my short-term play, which is kind of crazy. All right, shout out to all the homies in the chat. I had a good comment here from Adam who said the difference is VeVe owns your NFTs, and he says you don't own your own VeVe NFT. So define the word ownership. Can I take my NFT? Can I sell it and then cash out that money and go buy a hamburger?
And another thing, from my understanding, if any one of these people who created your NFT, if it's Cryptoys, if it's Top Shot, whoever it is, even like I've had NFTs go missing. Like I had Energy on tour. He made the first round of VeVe fam NFTs. Like my own personal NFT he made for me, of me, and then I owned other people's, and they were all gone. They were taken away. Why? Because supposedly a company that we're all actually invested in went to OpenSea and was like, yo, anything with this likeness, with these symbols, take it down. And his whole collection was taken away. So, I mean, I could have owned that on a wallet, on a separate ledger and all of that. But when I go to plug it in and look at it, it wouldn't have shown up. Right. It would have still been gone. So if these people's servers go down or whatever it is that keeps the ability for you to even see this stuff and then not just show up 0 and 1s. If that goes down, what do you really own anyway? But digital
we're pretty much just selling real estate on the moon at this point, right?
Right.
You know. And speaking of which, I actually have a lot vacant right next to me. Bro, Doc, if you're coming up, bro, bring an ounce. You good?
I got you, bro.
Right, I got you.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to the next topic, though, because I know somebody in the chat, I see Bob Sells there talking about UFOs. That's going to be our next topic. But I did want to sum this up from, I think this is a developer from Palm who replied on that day saying that bridging requires additional technical lift and consideration, so it most likely wouldn't happen at the same time as self-custody. Like, those are two different things. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just isn't as straightforward as it seems, and self-custody is goal number one. So that's what they're headed for. That's what they want. That's what some of us want, but not everybody. But the nice thing is, if it happens, you'll have the decision if you want to take it out off the platform and put it in your wallet or not. Let me get to the poll results for this topic. It looks like it's pretty split between people saying DC Palm will get self-custody first and people who don't care. Only 10% actually think VeVe will get self-custody first. Those are the Moon Boys. Shout out to all the Moon Boys. Thanks for being in the chat with us today. All right, anything you guys want to add before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I mean, if I can just say one thing, and I understand what Adam is saying, right? Like, we don't own it on VeVe. They could take it away. If you look at the terms of service, he's absolutely correct. The difference, though, is if I lose shit on OpenSea, I'm screwed. I'll never see it. If VeVe takes my account away, just watch how many freaking videos I'll make. Watch how much hell I'll give them. I have a chance to get all my stuff back because I'm going to make it difficult for them. Whereas on OpenSea, I'm absolutely screwed. I have no clue who just took all my stuff. So if VeVe does that, there's going to be a problem. I know all the creators will get, behind other creators if they get screwed. So VeVe's not going to do that. But I do understand what Adam is saying. He has a point. Just for my comfort level, I'm okay with it. At least at this point, I don't need self-custody.
Just add my 2 cents, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Adam, that's the fam too. I don't know if he was saying that in response to, like, as I was talking, but I just shed a little light on my own personal experience, and you would probably think someone who went through what I went through wouldn't say what I just said. But if you guys remember last year, it was around December, November, I don't know when it was, but this is when VeVe was saying, yo, we're trying to combat bots. So we just went out and hired a new security third-party company, and all of a sudden, everybody's account started getting locked. I was one of those first people, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole big thing in Twitter Spaces, which was just starting at the time, and Pavel and everybody was involved and talking, and it wasn't, a whole bunch of people affected, but I think one of the first people was like that dude Ray Fixie. And the whole reason why it came out was because, like, before he even logged into the account and seen that he was restricted, they sent him an email. And then they were like, hey, your account was restricted, but we already unrestricted it, so you're good. And he was just like, what is going on? And a bunch of other people got caught up in that. And I was one of them. So, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I was just a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I've always just been a person to support everybody else's channel and movements. You know what I'm saying? And I I didn't really have much of a voice. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that big on Twitter. You know, I had most of my Twitter followers just from me doing music over the years and stuff like that. So it wasn't what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like my voice, you know, I don't even know how much of a voice I have today. You know I met these dudes at Comic-Con. I looked them all in their face. I talked to them for many minutes, all of them individually. And that's the thing that keeps me in the project. Like when we're in these super dark times now, because around the time last year, Comic-Con was when we were kind of trending downward at the time already. And now we're even in a deeper, you know what I'm saying, a deeper status. But what keeps me going is talking to them. You know what I'm saying? If you guys never met them, try and get out there and meet them and not just want to talk to them about getting a promo card or some VeVe logos. And you might get to learn something about who the people are, because like I read people very well. I've been around some couple of places, and these guys are not in this to lose, bro. You know what I'm saying? They have their own money in this project, and you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be racial, but I don't know a lot of Asian dudes that's in business that do that to lose, man. You know what I'm saying? David just don't come across as somebody that's trying to lose, like, you know what I mean? But
Doc, you know I respect the hell out of you, man. We're like a stone's throw from each other, actually, if chat needs to know that. We're pretty close,
but not this one. But not this one.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, we're talking about the same guy, because actions speak louder than words, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to say where I come from, but we live, again, 5 minutes from each other. You know, actions speak louder than words, man. And when you're doing, like, doing the deals that David Yu does, you know, behind the scenes, and then you got, you know, Alex who jumps on spaces or their Q&A, and they're like, so I guess we got to kind of address the the elephant in the room. Like, basically just being like, yeah, these fucking assholes just going to keep balling us. So like, bro, like, have some respect, have a little bit of, you know, a little bit of professionalism when it comes to talking about people's money and their time that they invest in your company. So I'm glad when you had your interaction with them that it was good, seemed genuine. But what I see on a day-to-day, none of those guys should be running the company. You got Reese, who cashes out behind the scenes before every freaking pump on Omi. There's just all sorts of shit, man. Red flags.
Well, I'll say this, man. I don't know about if they should be running the company or not. I'll just say that they shouldn't possibly be visible to the public representing the company. Because if they weren't as visible, if they weren't as open as they are, I'm telling you, like, name another project where you could just go to a Comic-Con and meet literally everybody, CEO, everybody, right there. Punch them in the face if you want, run away. I could have literally punched everybody in the face, all of that.
I mean, they're all doing it. Every NFT company, they're all getting out in the open. They're all trying to be you know.
I didn't see DCHRO out. I don't even know who's
HRO's out. HRO gets out there and does their thing. But they're not going to be at Comic-Con there because they're with.
Who are they? But
they're there with VeVe.
Representatives. Those are low-level minions, bro.
No. You're talking about Gavin and those guys? Gavin, those are the guys that run the show there at HRO.
No, I'm talking about Comic-Con. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but the only reason why VeVe's at Comic-Con is because of Marvel. You remove Marvel from the equation, they're not there. They're not there.
But who was representing? Was it representatives or was it the owners and the CEOs? That's all I'm saying is the difference. Like,
that's like when your brother goes to the mall and he takes you with him.
If you got something to hide from, you're not going to put yourself out there, right? You're not going to visibly be physically able to be harmed while people's money is being lost in your project. They still put themselves out there.
I mean, even at that time, though.
I don't even know who half of the other people are that own all these companies. I don't even know them. I have to go out my way to figure out who they are. And these people come on, they put themselves out there. They want, like, I just don't know anybody that moves like these guys. That's all I'm just trying to say. They move real different to be some guys that's with Marvel and DC and all these companies, and they're trying to fail.
Doc, you're from New York. You know. Yeah, but Doc, snakes, some of the biggest snakes in the freaking world will slither out in the open. All right, they all don't hide in the grass. All right,
well, where we come from, yes,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So it's like, it's not, again. Coming from someone like you, I will put more respect on them just because of your interaction, and I know the type of character you have. We've talked, you know, for hours, you know, off streams and off chats and whatever, right? Like, so I mean, I respect what you're saying, but again, from just my point of view, every single thing that they do, I'm like, Just scam, scummy scam. It's one after another, man. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
just
let me add another
just
perspective from the chat and hear from Jerry Barrera. He says he asked for a cash out since March 27th, and at that time that feature was available in his country, and until now he still hasn't got his money, and he created a ticket on March 30th, so I guess that was, oh man, a long time ago, and he still hasn't got his money. So some people are in a situation where they're going to be against the company no matter what because their money is stuck and nothing's happening. So what do you guys think is happening with that? Why wouldn't customer service had resolved that issue by now?
Is he out of this country? I didn't see.
It sounds like he's out of this country, but at the time he said his country was available. So that maybe kind of sounds like there's
nothing they can do.
The country was not available. I mean, the money can't be lost in limbo forever, though. He's got to either get his gems back or his money, one of the two, right?
He'll still have his gems. It just if they can't do it in another country, they're not going to do it. So
we'll see if we get an update.
VeVe's going to have to make them whole. I don't know why they're not.
Adam has a question in the chat. Says, is Disney expanding to other companies like Cryptoys a bad idea? We were talking about that last time when we got into competition. A lot of people think that competition is healthy. It's only Star Wars at this point. Maybe if they started dropping Disney princes, that could be a problem. But in one case, you could look at the type of collectibles they have. They all look alike, even though, of course, different faces, different characters. But they're all the little mini guys, whereas on VeVe, everything's all different. You know, you got different styles, you got animations. Dr. Strange, what do you think? Is Disney expanding to other companies like Crypto a bad idea, or is that bad for VeVe?
No, I think it's great, man. I think the more places the IP we have on VeVe go, the better for VeVe and for our investments. Why? Because everyone else is doing something different. Like I said before, even if VeVe rolls out NBA tomorrow, even if they did player cards, they're still not going to be the same as what's on Quid. It's two totally different things. So I like the fact that we're going to have a Vader on 5 different platforms and everybody will realize, damn, the one on VeVe is the only serious one where he looks like really trying to force grip somebody's neck. It's animated, or the still frame one. Like, I'm pretty sure these IPs are smart enough to know not to cross breed the project to the point where it's the same exact model on each different platform. They're not going to do that. Even if they do that, I feel like VeVe is so far ahead that if they try to step into the 3D modeling, the quality is not going to match up. The animation is not going to match it, or VeVe already has the first version on the blockchain. So if you're a collector and you like first dubs, you're still going to go to VeVe because of that. Either way, you're going to look at the two and compare them and be like, damn, this has AR though. Theirs, I could look at on my phone is spinning around as a statue, but VeVe has AR. So I feel like VeVe's always one step ahead with the technologies to certain degrees. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting how other companies are trying to catch up. But the problem is when you throw your resources at things looking good, then you may not have an AR function or a marketplace like Cryptoids or something. Then when you throw all your resources at a bunch of IPs, then the actual products you're able to give us suffers like a Quid. So it's, to me, VeVe has the just crazy combination.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think VeVe is still ahead of Crypto. I think VeVe is ahead of Cryptoys right now, but Cryptoys has a chance of passing them up. If they come through with some mini games, they get that market going, and they're still getting new IPs that they're bringing on. You can see a lot of people are excited about it. Choo Choo in the chat says he snagged a golden pass for Cryptoys after watching the stream last week. Asked me if I have one. I don't have one, but BE on top of me and Mo below me both have golden tickets. They're super bullish on this. So I'm assuming you guys probably feel the same way as Dr. Strange, that competition is good for VeVe. Is that right, Mo?
Yeah, well, competition sparks innovation is one of my life mottos. Like I said, you don't have Coke without Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Like, these companies drive each other on a daily basis, to be better, right? And my whole take with the Cryptoys and VeVe, and I think we do need, the IP in more places. But I think that VeVe could potentially turn into like your grandpa's NFT, where it's like, hey, Grandpa, what does your Darth Vader do? It's like, well, it just stands there. And then, the kid's like, well, I can bring mine into the Cryptoids metaverse, and I could play pool, and I could play air hockey, and I can go bowling, and it's like, man, like, it's good. It depends on the utility of what these people come through. What's that?
Could be, that's not what I was saying. The VeVe-verse could still keep things fresh and new. And I mean,
Yeah, 20 years from now. Come on, Doc. You've been around long enough. 20 years from now.
What we're talking about is technology, right? So technology is all about innovation. It's about implementing all these things, staying cutting edge, and being the first to bring something like an experience. Like the thing with VeVe, right, is we have what we have. We got what we got, man, right? But where their head is at, where their true head and mentality is at, it's not even about the IPs and all this stuff that we're thinking about. It's about allowing us to interact with what we have in a new way. And that's not going to happen just.
Yeah, but their new way is spatial. Their new way is spatial with the reskin spatial.
You just cut me off right when I said it, and that's not the VeVe-verse. These are all Band-Aids. The VeVe-verse, Cash Out, all this stuff is stuff y'all wanted and y'all care about. That's not what their vision is about. Their vision is overall one day us literally being able to virtually or AR with context on being able to literally grab these objects and interact with them in a new way. We don't need.
Yeah, but their progress meters go backwards.
We don't know what the new way even is because that's going to be in line with the technology. As the technology progresses, that will manifest, bro.
Doc, if me and you were 18 years old, if we were 18 years old having this conversation, I'd be like, yo, dude, when we're 35, this shit's going to be lit. But you want to be in our freaking wheelchairs rolling into the VeVe-verse?
No, I don't think so. I'm just going
technology. I'm talking about VeVe. VeVe don't move fast at all. I mean, they're going fucking backwards.
But don't you think something like Cryptoys, right? Isn't that going to force VeVe to do it?
If VeVe was moving so slow, right, then everybody else will have AR rolled out with their platform automatically like it's nothing, and a marketplace, and a bunch of IPs.
They do, Chico Roco. I can take my fucking Chico Roco and put it in fucking augmented reality.
Yeah, but it's only one Chico Roco, so if I don't like how those look, then I'm stuck. Whereas,
but they don't even try. Like, they do that shit without even trying, though.
But again, do you even, like, what are you doing with Chico Rocos? What you doing?
The same thing I'm doing with VeVe. I'm fucking looking at them.
That's it? Why you not making no money?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you really doing with any of this shit? You know?
Almost have to,
that's all I'm trying to say, though.
You have to pick which developers you think are the best developers, that you buy the NFTs, or the developers you think is going to progress through the technology and create the best metaverse, the best mini games, the best interactivity overall, right?
I mean, these guys are already on a point where they're talking to people that are developing games that we're going to be playing on our phone and how Omi is going to burn with it. Meanwhile, everybody else is still trying to figure out how they can sign the next IP or what the next 3D model will be or something. That's what Quitter's worrying about, like how to make Dark Crystal figures look better. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people are behind, bro. You think they're ahead or going to lead. I don't even know what getting ahead of VeVe means, bro. Like in a real,
I don't think anything really.
No, nobody's ahead. No, nobody's necessarily ahead of VeVe. And you know, as far as like with Cryptoys, though, if they're able to pull off the game with these Star Wars guys, right? That's going to be huge. That's going to be a game changer. Now, hopefully, VeVe will see that and say, all right, we got to get this going. We got to get this going, which is why I like Cryptoys. But if Cryptoys can really pull this off, I don't even care if I can cash out. That is going to be really cool if I can actually play a game. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I like the idea of the mini games too, and we're gonna have the CEO on my channel on Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna be asking him about the mini games. We're gonna be talking to him about Win Market and things like that, and we're gonna be talking about VeVe again when we get to our last topic. But I know there might be some people in the chat, like Bob Sells, who wants to get into the UFOs, and I was really excited about being able to talk about UFOs because I'm a big fan of the topic. And since we have my boy Dr. Strange on the stream, I figured this would be the perfect time. So I'm gonna set up this whole topic for you guys, and then we're gonna set up a poll. Once I get through all this, I'll start the poll in the chat, and the poll will be: where do you stand on the topic? Do you not think that aliens have ever visited Earth? Or B, do you think that aliens have visited Earth but never landed? C, do you think aliens have visited Earth and they live on Earth? Or D, do you think aliens live on Earth and they have infiltrated governments? There's a couple ways to look at this. I know a lot of us, pretty much everybody has looked at UFO videos at some point. This is a little bit of a skeptical map. This is a map that I showed everybody before we started the stream. I saw it on Twitter just yesterday, I believe. And this is all the reported UFO sightings by country. And you can see it makes you feel a little bit skeptical that all of the sightings come from America and United Kingdom, and they're just scattered little tiny pieces around everywhere else. If it was a real thing, wouldn't they be lit up everywhere? But then again, maybe they don't have the same ability to report. So that's just one data point to look at. One of the strongest evidence, one of the things that I look at every time when I'm thinking of UFOs is some of the past art and what made these artists put this in their paintings. This was created in the 1480s by Filippo Lippi. It's called Madonna and Child with the Infant St. John, and it's just supposed to be a picture of Madonna, but if you get deep into it, you start looking into it, you look at the back there, and he has a guy pointing to something in the background. If you get really, really close into it, it pretty much looks like he drew a UFO in his art there. And historic art like this, ancient art that shows UFOs, and there are several of them, to me is a big indicator, more than it is a UFO video that comes out on YouTube tomorrow, because there's so much editing and the ability to manipulate the images that you can't really trust those, but you can trust stuff like this. And there's like really a period of time from whenever cameras were created to whenever editing began, and in between that time, those UFO videos are really interesting to me. So I'm going to start off with Doc Strange, because I know this is something you're interested in as well. Where do you stand on this poll? Do you think that aliens have visited Earth? Have they landed on Earth? Do they live on Earth? Or do you even think they've infiltrated governments? And give us a little bit of a rundown on where you stand on UFOs. And we also have some UFO videos we're going to analyze later on as well.
The first answer is D, all the above. I think we could possibly be the aliens, the real aliens, because when you start looking at some of the things that people are unearthing, they're coming from a time period and made by a bunch of people things are just not lining up with technology and, what we're saying should be going on during that time period and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, man, I mean, my humble beginnings, I'll say, I had, like, the area where I grew up in Long Island at the time, there wasn't a lot of people really living in that neighborhood. It was newly developed, so it's called the New D. It's in Central Islip, Long Island. And, there's a fair share of UFO sightings. You got a lot of government, military facilities out there. You got the Montauk Project. You got a lot going on out there. Brookhaven Laboratories, right? Tesla also lived out there as well. So it's a lot going on with Long Island, high rates of breast cancer, Montauk Monster, Plum Island, Lab 257. So you got a lot going on with Long Island. I've seen a lot, and I grew up in a time when it was less populated out there. And I remember at the youngest age, I can remember my father, who I knew was blatantly into like aliens and all that, because like back then E.T. came out, we went to see it. Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out, seen that, in the movies, so it's like, okay, what's the big asphyxiation with it? And then he came and was just like, when we first moved here, we all saw a UFO, it was literally across the street. It was big enough to cover both neighbors' houses. We all had high ranch properties at the time. I like wanted to believe him, but of course it's your parents. So it's like, how do you not believe him? But he was like, yeah, you can go ask your own neighbors. You know what I'm saying? So I went and asked the neighbors.
I think we crashed, guys. You guys, can you see the stream? Are we still live?
I can still hear you.
I think it crashed. I just lost my chat a second ago, and then now all of a sudden everything crashed on me.
I just wrote on the chat. Well,
I should be able to get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to refresh it. It's not coming back yet. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. We're still live.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh,
yep.
All right. Cool.
Your chaos says we're good.
My bad.
So yeah. So I was just saying real quick, like I went and even asked my neighbors. One of them, their daughter's actually an Olympic medalist, gold medalist. She was in the '94 Atlanta Olympics. And they said yeah. And I mean, these are like square people who I never thought would say yeah they saw a UFO. So I don't know what are you supposed to do with that information? You know what I'm saying? When your own family's telling you what they saw, and then both sets of neighbors are saying like, yeah, it was a huge ass UFO over the crib. So from there I just knew to keep my wits about me. And as I grew up through the years, I was just doing research on that, a lot of different stuff. I grew up in a household with a lot of books on the shelf, not typical books in people's households. When I go to my friend's house, the books on their shelves were like encyclopedias and almanacs and regular stuff. In my house, they'd come over, they'd see Illuminati 666, they'd see Behold the Pale Horse, they'd see The Art of War, they'd see, all types of religious books, so I grew up with all types of stuff, running through my head and all types of knowledge, man. So, yeah, eventually I had my own sightings, my boy who I'm with right now, I was telling him about things, and actually he saw his own thing while we were together one time. Oh, actually multiple times. We've seen stuff. We've seen stuff in Long Island, Tampa, Florida. And I've caught some things on camera, you know what I mean? And just like most stuff, especially depending on what year you're talking about, it's not the best footage, but it is what it is. You take it, blow it up, throw it through some filters, you might be able to see something that doesn't look normal, But that's on my regular page, Dr. Strange. I have those little pieces of footage on there, just a couple of them.
That's on your channel? That's on your
What
All
happened?
Things Strange. Is that on your
No, that's in my regular. No, that's just Dr. Strange. That's
Gotcha,
just my
gotcha.
regular page.
Oh, nice.
But I should migrate that over, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about diving in more into the topic, maybe even giving people firsthand accounts of what I've seen and been through. I know a lot of people want to talk about UFOs in the context of metallic ships, but I've seen things, other things in the air that we should be worried about, that were alive and not metallic.
Wow.
I'll just say that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I haven't personally seen one myself, but I did have a stepfather who was in the Navy who told me some crazy stories about the ones he saw when he was way out in the middle of the sea on a ship, and he was an air traffic controller, and he saw it on the radar. Then he went outside and he saw it right there. So it's like he's not allowed to talk about it. But when it comes to the pole itself, I would personally fall under the letter C. I do think they visited Earth, and I do think they probably live on Earth, most likely in the sea, because USOs, I've seen a lot of information about those, but I don't think they've infiltrated governments, because shit would run a lot better if they had. I mean, come on. All right, I'm going to start off with you, BE. I want to see where you land on this poll and what you think about UFOs overall.
So 100% there are aliens. 99.99%. Just statistically, there has to be. My big issue, like with that map you showed, we all have phones now. Everyone all over the world. So we should be seeing a lot more footage, and it feels like not as much is out there. So the question is, why? Why did we see it before, not as much now? I don't know. I think we've been visited by aliens. I'm not sure if they're here all the time. So I'd probably be more under the B, that they've visited here. I don't know if they've landed or what they've done. But there has to be. I mean, right? We've got billions of galaxies, and there's solar systems and stars. There has to be people out there. The question is, are they, do they have the technology to be able to come out here and see us? I don't know. But it does seem, if you go back hundreds of years, how did all that technology that we got just come out of nowhere, out of whole cloth, right? So it feels like somebody might have come down and helped people out. It's possible. We see that in that picture. So I don't know. I think it's exciting. I'd love to see an alien. I personally have not seen a UFO. I do think a lot of times there's an explanation for UFOs, that they may not be, they're just unidentified, that they may not be from, another world or whatever, but some must be. I mean, obviously the government has released footage now, so even they believe that there's stuff. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens. But my biggest issue is, with all the cameras that we have, why are we not seeing more? I do believe, and I don't think Daniel Marquez is in the chat, but I do think, didn't he have some footage that he saw just recently that he put up? And there were like, F-15s behind the UFO that he saw. Yeah, and I looked at it, and it was very interesting. I don't know what it was, but that's very recent. So.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to get to all the comments in the chat. I want to get to Mo's comments as well. I'm the same way as UBE. I feel like if everybody has phones, these good phones right now, we should be getting some high quality pictures or video by now. But on the other hand, when it comes to the Tic Tac UFO instance and Lieutenant Fravor, if you guys don't know about that, it's a really well documented case that just recently happened. It's really, really hard to to FUD, because I mean, and the fact with that case is that these UFOs came down out of the sky and they were interacting with something that came up from under the water in the ocean, which makes me feel like they do live underwater in the ocean. Before we get to the comments in the chat, though, Mo, where do you stand on this issue? Are you a B, a C, or a D?
Well, that would be some shit if they were in the ocean the whole time, huh? Or everybody's looking up. It's like, yep, they're just chilling underneath the whole time.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably lean more towards C. I mean, but here's the deal. Because I'm kind of like would be on this, but I understand Doc too, because I'm always like, yo, bring me the receipts, right? Like, if you got some proof, bring me the receipts. Why are we not seeing more proof? You know, and even stuff like, it's like, well, like the Roswell stuff, where they're like, oh, it was a, confirmed military experiment. I'm sure that happens a lot too, but there's a lot of things that aren't explained. And I think the one thing that always drives me to believe that there had to have been something is when you look at the pyramids, when you look at the Stonehenge, when you look at some of these other, things around the world, and then you look at, some of the hieroglyphics and the paintings inside the pyramids where they talk about these weird beings, right? Like, all these stories, they try to reproduce these old these old reproductions like today, and they can't do it. They can't cut stone that way. Like, they can't do things the way that these pyramids were built. So you're telling me they could figure that shit out all the way back then, and we're some, crazy advanced civilization. Well, then they had to have had some help, right? Like, they're going to dig open one pyramid one day. They're going to find some, the jackpot's going to have all the tools from the aliens that they left behind, right? Like, I truly, truly believe that, because there's no shot those pyramids, because we would have done it, right? Somebody would have just gotten 1,000 slaves or 5,000 slaves and just told them, all right, carry bricks up these planks the way that, they try to draw this shit up on the History Channel, right? Like, well, maybe they had pulleys and they did this. And I'm like, okay, guy. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. But, so to me, that's where I kind of just always lean towards, there has to be something else, man. And you know what? I live half my life out in space anyway with my freaking brain. I hope there is, man. Like, I really, really hope there is, because just take me away from all this nonsense. I would love to go on a vacation.
As long as they're nice. I mean, I think that the big key here is right by what you're talking about. Right by the pyramids is the Sphinx. And I think the Sphinx was built long before the Egyptians were even a thing. And then we can get into Atlantis and the fact that it's probably actually the Eye of the Sahara, which currently exists and nobody's really examined yet. So there's really some crazy stuff in history that kind of points to the fact that we were helped along at some point along the way. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Bob Sell says the easiest way to explain if aliens exist or not is this: other planets have water, right? I mean, when it like BE said, when it comes to just the statistics behind it, it's almost improbable, or it's impossible that aliens or other life doesn't exist somewhere. And I think they've even approved that. There's water on Mars, so it's almost impossible for it not to have existed at some point. JB says, if you guys are collecting physical comics, you'd like the recent Dark Horse book, Project Blue Book. Ooh, that does sound good. Bob Sell says, fish live in water. If it's from another planet, it's officially an alien. And some people think that's what we are. It was just some microbe that was on an asteroid from another planet that landed here in the ocean and started the whole process of evolution. Ronnie Lido says, let's all remember the first modern day sighting started after the launch of the first nuke. That could have triggered, aliens to be like, what's going on over here? I know a lot of people say that they hang out at like nuclear power plants. Adam says, we see less UFOs because they know our tech now, but I would argue there are many more videos now than 10 years ago. I do think there are just as many videos, or there are more videos now, but we still haven't got that clear video for some reason. And when it comes to that Tic Tac UFO incident, there is a video. I have it over here that I might be able to play, but it's pretty fuzzy, hard to see. But the Lieutenant Fravor, the guy who was the pilot at the time, said that he saw the video that they took and it was super, super clear, but they're not showing anybody that one. Bob Sell says Project Blue Book was legit and the show did a good representation of the men in charge. They dismissed everything. Yeah, they were saying like swamp gas on stuff. Adam says, search the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. That is actually a really wild story where it was in a newspaper article that just one day in Nuremberg, there was these two different aliens just like fighting each other, and everybody saw it. It was in the news. It was in the newspaper, and everybody just goes on with their life like it didn't happen. So I don't know, man. It's wild. We got some videos we could check out. I'm afraid my computer might crash though since it's running slow, and we've already been running long and got a couple other topics to go over. Anything else you guys want to add to this topic before we go to the next one?
Yeah, I'll just say real quick, I'll just make a statement, something that came across my desk that blew my mind as a concept. And the concept was, it's like, what if, right? What if, like somebody was talking about in the chat about water and life? Like, I think you guys don't understand like how life works, really. Like, it's not all biological life. Like, a part of what you even are is light. You know what I'm saying? And the further you get away from being a light being, the more physical you are of a being. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you got apparitions, ghosts, all these things that operate on a different frequency. But the thing the concept that came across my desk was that there's life on all planets. It's just that we're the only life forms. We're like an experiment in a petri dish. We're the only planet that has all these different conditions on it located in different parts of the planet, where other planets might have a constant. Like, you go on one planet, it's all like Antarctica. You go to another planet, it's all water. You go to another planet. So this is an experiment. We're the only life forms that live on the surface of the planet. These what you call extraterrestrials, really intraterrestrials. They've been here. They live inside the earth, under the water, inside the earth, caverns, mountains, all these different places. Why? Because of what we're going through every day. Don't you see it? You're dealing with floods. You're dealing with the sun burning you up. You're dealing with all these weather conditions that's telling you shouldn't be on the surface of your planet, but yet we're forcing it because that's the nature of how we came here. You know what I'm saying? And developed here. It's a surface level being. But on every other planet, there's life there. It's just may not be in a physical form that you accept as biologically existent. But it might be a light being. You know what I'm saying? There might be all aquatic beings. Like, what planet is that? That's 100% water. Neptune, one of them. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We could barely even get into our own ocean. So who are you to say there isn't full of life there? It could be like SpongeBob land over there. You don't know. So there's life everywhere. We're just the only idiots living on the surface of the planet, trying it out. And that's why UFOs come here looking at our stupid ass like, wow, you know?
You think that's the whole thing? You think maybe they used to abduct us because they respected us, but now they come here and they're like, yo, now we don't, leave these motherfuckers alone. Like, just keep on going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, no ride. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wonder if that's how,
I've got one thing to say too. This whole thing with the water, we don't even know. Life could possibly survive not with water, right? There might be something else. Maybe they survive on helium, right?
Just like life comes to be without sun in the oceans. Yeah. Showing, right? Go ahead, B.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, there's no guarantee. I mean, carbon, helium, what is the second most abundant? You know, you can't get it on Earth right now, but out in space, it's that's what other things can live off of.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, let me check the results of the poll, see what the chat is saying. It's pretty split. Most of the chats think that aliens have visited but not landed. 26% of the chat thinks that aliens have not only visited, but they have also infiltrated our government. 24% of the chat think that aliens have landed here but not quite infiltrated our government yet. And 15% of the chat are non-believers altogether. Man, I wish we could get into some of these videos because we could probably change your mind. I don't know. The non-believers, y'all are crazy. Man, you really need to see the evidence. But all right, this kitty cat is trying
some good stuff.
All right, let's
get Jesus, Vault.
What's up?
Vault, man, you worked the poll freaking more than my mother back in college. Holy shit, dude. Good job.
Get a bomb for that one. All right. Let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is regulations, and we're talking about regulations in Canada in particular because there was a recent announcement that Binance is pulling out. Mo knows all about it. Pulling out from Canada due to regulatory tensions. Which
Who are you talking to?
Not a good sign.
Who's telling you stuff?
I heard it from a birdie. I did my research before the stream, and I went and watched this documentary that's currently on Netflix. I think BE says he's seen it as well. And if you're a Canadian and you're in the chat, then you probably know about this. It's this exchange called Quadriga, which was the first crypto exchange in Canada. And I don't want to give away the whole ending, but I mean, you can guess, like a FTX, it was a big old scam. So that might have something to do with why Canada is now regulating the way they are. They even said, I think the big problem right now that made Binance leave is that regulators made clear that platforms located outside of Canada that are accessible to Canadians, such as Binance, which was founded in Shanghai in 2017 and has a company in the Cayman Islands, will be regarded as operating in Canada for the purposes of securities. And nobody wants to be a security, right? So I want to get your guys' opinion on this. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of you because we all live in America, but I want y'all to know that this is going to affect us all, because I just found out that this is bleeding over to America a little bit. We just got note that Mecha Fight Club, an NFT game from Irreverent Labs on Solana, has decided to stop hiring developers because they're unclear about the regulations in the United States. And if you don't know about Mecha Fight Club, it was a planned cockfighting video game that leveraged artificial intelligence and would see mechanical roosters battle it out in the coctagon. So I was really upset when I found out that I'm not going to be able to take a mechanical cock rooster and put it in the coctagon and win some money fighting my cocks. I'm a little upset about it. We're going to do a poll while we go over the topic from all of the panel, but I want to know where you guys are from. That's going to be the poll on this one. I forget whose turn it is to start, but I'll start with you, BE. Are you worried about the regulations in Canada or America?
Well, I'm not worried about them. I think they're the greatest things in sliced bread. I mean, these scammers, which is what this crypto and all this stuff is, it's a bunch of scammers, and it needs to be regulated. It needs to be regulated for NFTs. It needs to be regulated for all the crypto. So, I mean, this is inevitable. I've talked about it before. It's going to happen. SEC is going to crack down. The scammers are going to be kicked out. But right now, they're having fun. So, this is just what's going to happen. This is the domino that's going to knock over all the other ones here in the US for sure. It's going to happen sooner than later, so be ready for it. I think VeVe, with their collectors at heart, already has set themselves up to deal with this. So yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it. I think it's good. I want this to happen. We need to get it out of the way so we can get rid of the trash, and we can have VeVe be successful in some of these other things, and the good crypto that is out there can survive, and all the rest just gets, wiped away.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm glad they're going to be regulating things in America, but Canada seems like a whole different thing. I think they're like really afraid of crypto at this point, and them losing Binance is going to really take a lot of people who are interested in crypto in Canada, which is a big country. They might not be interested anymore. Are you worried, Mo, that this is going to lessen the number of people interested in crypto because of all these regulations?
No, I really don't see what all the fuss is about. No, to be honest, I think like BE always has a very elegant way of saying what I'm thinking. But yeah, I mean, clean out the bad actors, right? Get rid of all them. We do need regulations. I think once that happens, we will start to have a clearer picture on where this whole thing could go, which could again lead to pump prices when people have more trust in what's happening. But on the flip side, that just means that the government's going to have their hands in it, which normally doesn't lead to anything good. So I don't know. It's going to be a touch and go, I think, here for quite some time, but it's definitely not good. And like you said, it's going to be like a shockwave effect on all these developers and all these companies that are like, hey, should we really go this direction? Because we might not be able to be here in 6 months. We might have to move out of this state, move out of this country, right? Now imagine if there was a game or maybe even like a platform that was like maybe like blockchain agnostic that kind of built their own back end stuff that doesn't really require Solana. Maybe you had to do like a horse racing game. And you could just kind of like own the horses and not really have to worry about that shit. Imagine that. Imagine that existed. Oh, that's right, it does. Photo finish, baby. Every day, streaming races, calling races. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, yeah, this whole thing's falling apart. I got bad news for you guys.
Yeah, but just to pipe in here, the reality is these projects, they can hire SEC lawyers. I mean, they can be out there and do this right from the start. So, if they're not scammers, hire the SEC lawyers, look over their stuff and do it right. I mean, regulation.
But nobody knows what's right.
Good.
Like that's the whole thing, right? Like nobody knows what's right. That's why you need some sort of concrete regulations where these companies feel, confident going forward, right?
Yeah, they keep putting out ideas of what they want to do for regulation, but then I'm sure they have some of their funders, some of the rich people who fund their campaigns who hit them up and say, no, I make money that way. So that changes the regulations that they will want to push for. And it's wild whenever you can't tell which party is on which side. And usually I follow politics pretty closely. I can't tell if it's the Democrats that are for crypto or if it's the Republicans that are for crypto, because it's a little bit on
nobody's
both.
for it.
So it's getting
what day of the week is it?
Right. So Dr. Strange, where do you stand on the whole point of regulations? Are you glad that they're doing it? Are you worried that it's going to cut into the amount of people that are investing in some of the platforms like VeVe?
I mean, this stuff is so volatile, man. it's just, it all needs regulation to some degree. You know what I'm saying? The way I see it, it's like so many opportunities to wash dirty money that I know that's the main thing going on. And then on top of that, you have so many other levels to it, from Ponzi's to pyramids to, you know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of everything. It's supposedly a secure blockchain, and we could see where everything is. And, oh, it's so secure, but yet people get their stuff taken every day. And there's no big superhero jumping out like, oh, I got you. It's no big deal. It's on the blockchain, bro. I know exactly who wallet status then. I got you. Nah, man. So until it's like that, I don't know. I'm kind of like Mo. I'm just like, I don't even see what the big deal is. From my understanding, the CEO, Mr. Changpeng Zhao, is from Canada. So I would think he has a vested interest in making sure something gets done. As far as his own company being able to operate in the place he's from, he probably has a lot of money tied up in Canada. So I think something's going to happen. Somebody's going to bend the fold, and it'll probably be Binance before it's the government. So if that means Binance needs to comply with whatever is going on specifically in Canada, then they'll compartmentalize that and figure it out, kind of like the E was saying, right? But just, hindsight's 2020, I guess. Maybe they a little oversight or something, but maybe as long as they got an opportunity to hire the right people and clean it up, what's it gonna matter? Like, if we talk in a year from now, this may not even be an issue. Like, it's that volatile. Like, we don't know. Nothing's etched in stone. They're not buried in the dirt yet. It's not like, we don't know. I know they did pull out, but I'm just saying something could always be worked out. With this type of stuff.
Yeah, especially if the CEO's from Canada. I didn't realize that. And let me check at the chat real quick. The cats are in the background. Ronnie Lido says that's why they don't bring it up until it's a well-adopted idea. Yeah, I agree with that as well. It's the wild.
I got a quick question for Doc, real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, when you were talking about like security with the blockchain, right? Now, to my knowledge, every single time that a wallet gets drained and something happened, it's initiated by the user. It's not like my wallet that's sitting there right now, and someone like me with the name MoKnowz knows better. Right? Like, my wallet's not getting drained overnight from some dude trying to hack into my shit, right? That's not happening. So, I mean, the security of the blockchain is legit, right? ZK layers, protocols and stuff that, like, Matic uses now, Polygon, those are legit. Like, the way that those work, you cannot really hack them, because they will trigger flags, they will, the hash will not be correct, and it will not go through. So, on that front, I just wanted to kind of clarify that, because I think that's what you were saying. But unless I'm aware of something, or not aware of something, rather, that's usually the way it goes.
You say that, though,
I don't
but
know
there
if that's
are...
what I was saying or not. I don't know if that's what I was saying or not. But what I am saying is that I could go on Twitter right now and find you somebody that some way got something taken out of their wallet that they did not intend for that to happen. So whether it was money or whether it was NFTs.
It was greed.
Either way. Whatever. Either way, that person did not intend for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? They did not willingly know that them clicking on something or accepting however it goes, because I don't know enough. You know more than me. I'm just saying I see the people that are affected. And all I know is I've only seen a couple of people refer to, and then they could even be scammers, that are supposedly people that are experts at getting your stuff back. I've only seen like someone be like, hey, you should hit up this person. He's good at getting people their stuff back. But I've heard stuff where it's like, oh, well, they stole, I don't know, Ethereum, and then what they did was they transferred over here, and then they wrapped it in this, and then they transferred over there, and then they sold it for this, and then they wrapped it in something else, and so now you just can't get it. And that's what I heard. So that's what I'm telling you is what I heard. Or everything you're saying is correct too. I hear you.
That's the money laundering side of it.
About people losing NFTs and people losing money. So I don't know how all that happens, but that's what I was talking about.
Well, I'm just saying, because like when I'm up late at night and sometimes, and I had my second wallet drained, you know what I'm saying? Because I hit that point where I was like, I feel pretty comfortable doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, you know what? Let me roll the dice a little bit. Let me make another wallet. Let me check out some of this sketchy shit, right? Yeah, within 1 week, my wallet was drained. It cost me $14, you know what I'm saying? Cheap lesson, right? Because again, the greed, when that greed kicks in and you're like, oh shit, profit, this is dropping, free, it's for me. Let me hop on that. Let me try to flip this for a quick G, right? Like, I wasn't even trying to spit freaking bars right there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the greed that drives these people, man. So it's education. It's people like you. It's people like VE. It's people like Vault, where you guys educate, you know what I'm saying, your followings, right? Like, this isn't what I do. This isn't my space, right? I just like to come on here with some middle-aged dude who just runs his skeleton mouth, you know? But it's up to you guys to educate the mass following of people in, like, the VeVe space and Palm, whatever. Be smart. You know what I'm saying? The same way, if you go to a bank and you know, reveal your freaking PIN code to someone and, you know, you turn around and they grab your freaking grab your card and bam, take your money, right? Like, same shit could happen in all these different aspects of the world. But I think what it boils down to is, like I said, you have to be educated. You have to understand that you just pay attention. You know, again, I think it's part of life too, which most people might disregard nowadays. But just, you know, pay attention, get off your phone, stop swiping, and, you know, just everything will work out.
I mean, they say that, but some of the people who get their NFTs stolen out of their MetaMask are OGs
Educated.
who have Bored Apes
right.
and crypto punks who've been in this game 10 years longer than we have.
And they got greedy.
I don't know. It's
bro.
scary.
Yeah, but people know people get screwed all the time that know what the hell they're doing. They have got a cold wallet. It's not connected to the internet. It's anytime you make that connection to the internet, you've exposed yourself.
Exactly.
And whether it's a cold wallet or whatever, and I think Dr. Strange is kind of like me. I don't really want to deal with crypto. I mean, I have some. I like NFTs, but I really try to avoid it. That's why I like VeVe. That's why I like a damn credit card to buy the stuff and not worry about crypto. It's too risky for me, and I don't think most people are going to adopt it. I really, until they make it where it's easier and you can't lose your shit, you're not going to get big adoption. I could be wrong, but that's my theory.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't like the fact that I lost money. I robbed myself once. You know what I'm saying? I caught myself trying to get some Omi and didn't know what I was doing, right? This is before, like, people was making the videos. So I bought some XLM from Coinbase, I think. Then I sent that to the Coinbase wallet. And then it was something where on BitForex, specifically with XLM, if you're transferring that, you have to get a note. It's called a note.
Yep.
And if you don't attach that note when you transfer, that's our excuse for you not going through. Oh, well. Like, these are the stupid little elements it's not for me, bro. Like, I'm not dealing with that. Like,
right.
Yeah, memo. There we go. Memo. Danny OC said it in the chat.
Yeah, I lost 500,000 OMI tokens, and that stuff just disappeared into thin air. The whole idea of my money just disappearing into thin air and never existing again just kind of gets me. I feel like with a little regulation, maybe that's not going to be a thing in the future. I don't know.
One more
Well, what does
thing.
regulation do? Does regulation put you down and teach you? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, you could have done something to avoid that from happening, right?
Well, no.
Whether if you try with a smaller amount or, you know.
Retrieve my private key to get it back.
And one more thing real quick. Another thing that stops me from moving and shaking properly on OpenSea, as you, Mo, and you, VeVe Ball, you know, or OG Ball, you know, I'm having issues with even transferring my own NFT. I used to be able to transfer it to Vault to be able to give away to people during giveaways. Mm-hmm. Right now, I can't transfer it, and it's all this stuff talking about networks, and is it minted on this network, but you're trying to transfer it on that network, but then you got Matic, but then that Matic wasn't generated from this network, so you can't use that Matic. So then I go to try to buy some Matic, but then they want to charge me $25 extra for trying to just get $5 worth of Matic. Because all I need is $5 worth of Matic to transfer and do all the transfers I need to do, because Matic is mad cheap, right?
Yep.
But all of this process, right? But then we want VeVe collectibles on OpenSea. How much is gas fees going to be for you try to deal with all of this stuff, man? I'm not dealing with gas fees with my collectibles, man. Just charge me a little percentage or whatever, and let's get it over with. I'm not trying to deal with that, man. Turn on transfers, VeVe. You listen and turn on transfers and charge me like 50 cents or something, a quarter or something to transfer. So you make a little money and everybody can be happy or something.
It'd be safer that way for sure. Yeah. Shout out to Mohammed's in the chat. Says his NFT was stolen on OpenSea. Then he watched it go from 0.2 ETH to over 2 ETH. That hurts. Mr. 100 said, so some guy sent a crypto punk to a burn wallet. I don't know what he was thinking, but that actually is a good segue to the next topic, because we have something similar that we're going to talk about when we get to the VeVe market trends. But I wanted to end this poll and show you guys what the results were. It looks like most of the people in the chat are from America. Shout out to all you Americans in the chat. 13% from Canada, 13% from England, and 6% from another country. Really? So only 6% of the chat is not from one of those 3 countries. I'm surprised. I thought we had more people from around the world, but maybe not on FUDDERS. It is a kind of a weird time of the day for other people and other locations. Let's move on to the VeVe market trends. And when we're talking about the VeVe market trends, what we wanted to talk about was the gauntlets. It looks like 2,570 of the 3,800 Infinity gauntlets have already been minted, which means that more can still be minted. The price right now is only 290 gems on those. So some people paid a lot of gems, a whole lot of gems, thousands of gems to mint their gauntlet, which is worth 290 gems. Of course, they'll get the airdrop too. We're going to talk about that. But some people were even burning off their low mints. We saw a number 43 Tesseract, a number 47 Power Orb, a number 47 Infinity Gauntlet, some low serial numbers getting burnt. I don't know what they were thinking on that one. And then even a secret rare Miles Morales, and the same user who burned a secret rare Miles Morales for their Soul Stone also burned an ultra rare Miles Morales. The secret rare Miles Morales floor price is around $1,100. The Soul Gem floor price is around 9 gems. So I don't know, man. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what was going on with that. We're going to start up a poll to see what you guys did with the gauntlets and what you guys plan on doing with the gauntlets. And we're going to start it over there with MoKnowz. What'd you think about the whole gauntlet burning? The whole burning mechanism, not only the mechanism, but also the market action on it, and did you make any money from it?
Well, let's do a little stretch here first. Hold up. Oh, man. Woo, gonna work out the kinks here, brother. All right, cool. Yeah, so, yeah, the whole thing with the gauntlet, right? These Thanos drops may be worth a lot of money, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, as someone who's not getting the secret rare, or the ultra rare, whatever the hell the top one is, I mean, yeah, I should have sold everything and just bought the freaking gauntlet. I don't care about the Thanos. I just wanted the gauntlet. So, yeah, I definitely screwed up. I had all the gems at, drop prices, too. So, I mean, not like I was out there buying shit at top dollar. I mean, I should have just, But, whatever. You live and you learn. Fuck VeVe.
What was that last part? Let me give you a foot on that last one. I'm starting up the poll for you guys to see what you guys did on the gauntlets. BE, I know you're a big market sniper and you're always keeping an eye on the market. What'd you do with the gauntlets, and were you happy with how it all went down?
Yeah, well, I did buy the gauntlet. I sold it right away. I knew it was going to go down to where it is, that just without any gems, where it'd be around that 35 to 40 gems. I've not bought, I was just looking at the market. I've not bought the fully gemmed or crafted gauntlet yet. I think it's going to go down. And then I do think it will go back up. Not professional advice though. I'm not sure. Yeah, I saw it for 250. I don't know. Maybe it could hit 200. I think there's a lot of people sitting on the gems or the stones, and so if those go down in price, people are going to freak out, and they'll start minting more of those gauntlets, and then they're going to go down in price, and I'll be there to pick them up. But I do not have one yet. I feel like I should have grabbed that one at 250. I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Chris? I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with that thing? Is it going to go up, or are we going to get screwed on it like the Lambos?
Well, I made a little money flipping the stones, but I definitely did not make as much as I could have. I sold them way, way, way too early because the ether went up to like 400 gems or something, and it looks like there's 2,570, and those numbers can only go up. So, like I told Mendososas, was that if supply can only go up, price can only go down. So I do kind of feel like the price is going to drop, but I feel bad for the people who spend a lot of money crafting it. However, BE says he thinks that or was it Mo, said that the Thanos is going to be worth a lot, so maybe it'll end up being worth it in the end. Dr. Strange, did you...
No, I said it better be.
Yeah,
I didn't say it would be. I said it better be.
Depends on edition
I just left $1,000 on the fucking table, man. Like that's some bullshit.
There's gonna be a lot of editions of those, so I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Strange? Did you mint one, and are you happy with how the market actually played out on that?
Well, I did mint one, I guess, but not the one with the stones and all. I stayed away from that game, playing the game a while ago. The most I did was, there was some guy that was popping up on the market like a month ago selling cubes for like 13 gems. At first he had a little wall going, and then what he kept doing was, like, as people would buy one, he would just repost another one. So I bought a couple of those and then was just playing around. Every time he would like go away for a little while and let the floor rise, I would pop one in there and sell them. But as far as taking any of this stuff seriously, I was just like, I'm not playing the game. I know how most of the time these things end up, because most of the time, like I've seen stuff where it's like, hold this, and then you get airdrop this. Like the airdrop usually isn't even worth what you spent in the 2 or 3 collectibles to get the airdrop, and like the market is just it trends more downward than up with these items. So I just looked at it as like, it's, at least for me right now, it's too much of a gamble to even mess with, to be like getting all of this and that. And then when the Aether started running up, I'm definitely not going to go and if I didn't get it when it was 30 gems sitting there in my face, I'm not going to run and get it, or whatever it was, 40 gems. I'm not going to run and get it as it's running up. Like, nah. So I even said in my collectibles live stream one day, like, you know, maybe a month ago, whenever it was, we were first talking about all this stuff. And I was like, I literally wrote in there, he put it on the screen, like, I'm sitting back and just going to watch all of this play out. And in the end, I'm just going to buy a gauntlet already with the stones in it. And everybody said I was crazy. They were like, oh, but it'll cost way too much. It'll be like $1,000. It'll be $800. It'll be more than what it costs to buy all these items and do all. And I'm like, no. I'm like, people are still going to throw it away. Watch. And here we are. So, you know, I saw that one he saw for $250. And, you know, I was thinking about grabbing it then, but honestly, like deep in my gut, I felt like it could still trend downward more from there. I feel like it could be like 200. Because like if you bought the Aether when it was 30, then how much are you really still losing?
Exactly.
You know, so everybody likes to use the example of buying the Aether at these high prices, but not everybody did that. I know a lot of people that stacked them actually at the low numbers. So if that was the most expensive one, then you can afford to still dump a little bit, and there's more sell pressure at these higher numbers, because it's like we're drained, you know what I'm saying? And then there's people still trying to figure out what's coming next. So it's like, even when you're sitting on a good 800 gems, even if you want to spend 200 plus on a gauntlet, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more advantageous to just be, you know, to wait and see what happens, because things have more of a tend to trend downward. Like we've gotten some big items, big IPs that people didn't think would trend downward, and they did still. Like, you know, I think some of these standalone pieces like RoboCop, Rambo, it's just certain ones you don't know which ones it's going to be, but you know, you just seen what happened with RoboCop. You know, that pump just because of an announcement for Ed 209, and that's not even the biggest thing in the world. Like, all right, great, we can move it around, cool. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the excitement isn't the same, man. Let's keep it a buck. The excitement is not the same. So that's another reason why these things are going to have more of a tend to trend downward. I feel like, you know, what bigger stuff are you going to get now? You got the
exactly
bigger stuff.
If the gauntlet can't do it, right, then what are you going to have? Or any of the Lambos, if they can't do it, what are we waiting for? What the hell?
Yeah, because I like to ask all the guests too, and I think Vault and BE know. Doc, why does everybody disrespect my girl, America Chavez?
Lord, I have a nice 3-digit, man. Love him.
Now we're talking. All right, 3-digit gang. There we go.
Especially the animated joint. I have no idea. See, what I'm doing is I'm skipping all of the ultra rare, whatever the one they make, and I'll get the animated one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the bang for the buck. So like, even if a whole bunch of us in the community who's only on the app and buying and selling from each other and only adding a couple of dollars here and there to the app and buy stuff, like, even if for whatever reason we ate up a nice supply of her, if a bunch of people for whatever reason came to the app and was like, oh, we want America and we want this one and that one, and they're the ones where the animated version, there's more of them and those are cheaper, I feel like a person's going to hop into that version over worrying about, oh, I can't afford the ultra rare that's static. Like, nah, I'm going to stack some Americas for cheap. I'm going to stack whatever's animated, Invisible Woman's, Storms, those are what I like, because
I think Silver Surfer is undervalued too, because there's only one of them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Only one of them.
Daredevil's like, that's what, do you think Silver Surfer should be where Daredevil is right now?
I don't even know what Daredevil's at.
They should be better than
Yeah, they should be around the same.
Right.
Depends on
sure.
edition
I don't know.
sizes.
I don't know about the mint size differences between them, but I feel like in IP wise, Daredevil maybe should be a little ahead, but not by much. Maybe 5-10 gems or something silly, but they should be right there, right?
Yeah, because we talk about mid numbers all the time, right? And like, if you think about it again, big picture, right? And I know that you're in, everybody's all in on the whole deal. We're talking about these mid sizes might just be drops in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about long term as to how many of these survive through all these transitions of people and markets, and you know what I'm saying? So like, it very well could just be a drop in the bucket. So whatever the mint count is on even America Chavez for the animated higher minted one, like you said, when people come in down the road, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, I can get this one where she's just like in midair, doing absolutely nothing." Or she could be on my front lawn welcoming my, my grandparents over with some portal, you know what I'm saying, through the front door, right? Like, it's almost like the scene from Cable Guy, like playing friends with Mortal Kombat in Vietnam, like it's crazy, man, to think about like what people are gonna want when this whole thing, actually does kind of get rolling, right? So I was just curious what you thought about my girl America Chavez. So thank you.
I always hear that argument about edition sizes that it's not going to make a big difference when we get a bunch of people here, but really there's a point of time where you go from having how many we have to having a whole bunch of people, and it's not instant. So it almost makes more sense to invest in stuff that is lower edition, because as you build up more users, that's when those prices will go up, and you got to have a lot of users before something that's like a Disney Golden Moment that's 12,000 editions is going to start pumping, and edition size won't matter as much. So edition size always plays a role, and when it comes to the gauntlets, if it was less editions than it is, then it'd be worth more, but they didn't plan ahead because this was a burning mechanism. However, in the future, whenever they start doing these type of drops, maybe they'll have whatever one of those items that you have to burn less than 1,000 editions or something, so that the resulting thing that you're crafting for has more value because it's a little less scarce, because I feel like the gauntlets just aren't scarce enough to hold that value. But however, Thanos could end up being scarce enough. I don't necessarily think it will. I think there's going to be a lot of them, but if it is scarce enough, then you can get your value that way. But at this point, all this whole airdrop system has too many additions, and if they keep doing these burning mechanisms, although it's fun and everybody's excited about it, if they keep doing too many additions, then people are going to keep doing the same thing, which is not crafting, and then nobody's going to craft anymore.
Well, why wouldn't they craft though? Because if you did 6 more burning events and look at how many Groots and Storms are going to get burned, I mean, those Storms that was sitting there at like $6-7 not too long ago, right? I mean, there could be very, very few of those available. And again, and you take it again to account the transition and the time that goes by and how many actually remain, in circulation, so I don't know, man. I think
10,000 editions, how many are going to get burned? Even if they burn 3,000, it's still 7,000 editions. It's still high editions.
Well, it could get more scarce if they continue crafting and burning situations with Marvel.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to be the only one.
I mean, one of the things I'd like to see them do is more of the secret rare, burning. You've got to burn some secret rares. You got to put in big money to get it, limited edition. That would be cool. And that'd be a hard decision, right? If you have something that's worth 1,000 gems, you're going to want to burn it for something. But that's going to create the scarcity that people want. And I would be interested in looking at something like that.
Yeah, like JB said, scarcity is king when it comes to collectibles. It's not the only thing, but it is the most important thing. Checking the results of the polls, they're pretty even right here between the people who crafted a secret rare gauntlet, the people who have not but will buy one in the market, and the people who are not going to craft one or buy one not at all. There's one more category with only 10% that says I have not crafted a gauntlet. So most people are either going to have crafted one, or they're going to craft one, or they're going to buy one. All right, shout out to Oscar's in the chat. What's up, C-Spill? Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Let's move on to the next part of the show, and that is the end of the show. And during the before we end Fudders,
hang on, breaking update.
Uh-oh.
Gotta take a little trip to the moon. Oh wait, I'm already here. During the show, I was able to finally mint my swoosh Nike Classic Remix Box NFTs. Let's go.
Yeah, give us a little bit of information on that. I know we were talking about it before we went live. I know .swoosh early access minting is today. I don't have a poster, so I didn't get to do early access. But Mo, can you tell us how long you got to use early access and when public access begins on that one?
Yeah, so a while back they sent out random assortment of posters. I think BE got one too.
Yep.
But yeah, so basically if you had the poster, 12 o'clock today, noon Eastern, they basically opened it up. I thought it would be like $100, $250. But yeah, they were like $19.23.
Yep.
Or something like that. No, 1982, I guess, yeah. So Yeah, I bought a box, and general access opens up on the 17th at 9 a.m. Pacific, so
Jeez.
noon Pacific. Now I don't know if I already got one. Can I go for general mint now when they open up? Because I mean, dude, for that price, we're talking about. And I know this is FUDDERS, but give me a moment. You know, we're talking about Nike, man. Did anybody watch that Air movie? Again, no spoilers, no nothing, but like that got me hyped. And I got this vibe from Nike, and I'm like, yo, this shit came out today. Dude, for the price, $20, first edition Nike. Yeah, I'm all over it. So that's all I got on that. Maybe VE knows some other stuff I don't. They do have utility and stuff too, right? Like in games, some will give you access to certain digital drops, physical drops, and
physical drops. Yeah, we talked about that. So it's like you said, it's Nike. I'll put $100 into it. No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, I gave Crypto as fucking 200, so I might as well give Nike 100.
Y'all are crazy to get those golden tickets. I forgot to mention that when somebody was asking about the Cryptoys golden tickets, that it just gives you early access to the Star Wars drop. But with those edition sizes, I'm assuming you probably won't need early access, but I could be wrong.
I didn't get it for Star Wars. I got it for a year from now when people are going to be crying and that, God forbid, they hit Amazon Marketplace and infested by bots on the drops. Well, guess who's going to have early dib just while you got the back cow, right?
Does it go?
That's
yeah,
why
what
I
if
did
you
it.
can't buy? Yeah, what if you
Nothing
can't
more.
buy 5 at a time?
Does it last
You'll never be
forever?
able to get the golden ticket.
Are you going to use the golden ticket one time, or it lasts forever?
No, it says early access to like all the drops. Like you'll have like lifetime access for $200. I'm like, dude, I gave VeVe $1,000. I might as well give these guys 200. Fuck it.
Might have to look into that a little more. We do have.
Yeah,
a
we'll
drop.
have to ask Will.
Yeah,
about
I'll
if
ask Will
that's
on
guaranteed
Thursday because we'll have the AMA. We do have a drop tomorrow. It's called Amazing Fantasy 15, but it's not the Amazing Fantasy 15. It is only 7,500 editions. Doc Strange, do you know yet if you're stacking or slacking on this one?
Oh, I was waiting for this.
Of course I know. I just finished the video before I came on here.
Let's go.
So you gotta check it out later and see what's going on.
So we don't get the alpha right now. We got to watch the video to find out if Doctor Strange is stacking or slacking.
Yo, it should be uploaded by like 9 p.m. man. Come through to the
All right,
channel.
give us one hint though. Is it end in Akin or Akin?
Definitely one of those.
All right, you heard it here first, chat. Alpha. It's
Here's
only
your
on
go collect
FUDDERS.
prices. It's a more modern comic, but of course it's that Amazing Fantasy 15, like a remake or something, and you can see that the 9.8 sell for $900, which is quite a bit for a comic that came out in the year 2000 and I want to say 2001, but
2005.
2005. Okay.
Yeah,
2005, yeah.
So yeah, that price is not bad for
2005.
one. Yeah, that looks pretty good, and I like the exclusive covers on that. That's dropping tomorrow. We'll be live for that. We always like to go around at the end of the show though and talk about one thing that we're looking forward to in the upcoming week in the NFT and crypto space. And I'll start off with you, BE. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to this week?
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to you talking to Andy 189.
That's going.
I need to see his tricks. I've DM'd him before. He's a good guy. I can't wait to see him. See his tricks and get him off the market so I can start sniping some better stuff.
He was asking me, like, is he going to still be able to snipe while the live stream is going, or is it going to slow him down? I'm like, bro, it slows you down a little bit when you're streaming. That's the sacrifice I make. So he's going to be happy about it. But Andy is one of the top snipers in the community. He's going to be on the channel on Friday. And since we're already back to me, I'll tell you that Friday is what I'm looking forward to because there was a leak on the VeVe blog that we'd have a Star Wars drop on Friday. It isn't official yet, but I'm assuming it's still happening. And of course, that's the one with the character that says it's a trap. And I think we saw all the three characters that are in that drop. So if so, that's going to be a big one. And we'll have Andy on the live stream with us as well. So it'll be a fun stream too. Mo, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to this week in NFTs?
Oh, baby, where do I begin? I am looking forward to Season 3 on Photo Finish, where we will now be using our track, stake, and ownership and collecting actual real-life money that I could use to then breed when breeding opens up, because we're going to have new baby foals coming. We're going to have all sorts of wild shit happening, man. I'm telling you, man. If anybody watched the Derby and saw all the action and all, I'm telling you, this good things are happening. That's all I'm going to say. Good things are happening.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Photo Finish Live. If you haven't heard about it yet, it's NFT horse racing on the Solana blockchain, and me and Mo usually go live on Friday nights. We have a DAO with 9 members where we own a horse together, and we're thinking about getting a second horse because our first horse has not won a race yet. Dr. Strange, is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to in the NFT or crypto space this week?
It's not really too much going on, but I am looking forward to your interview with the CEO of Cryptoys.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm the only one here that's not invested in the project. I sat there and stared at it for hours, and I'm like, they're not showing me enough as far as like what I'm getting. So I kind of had to look it up, and I like the whole idea of the unboxing, and it made me think why VeVe doesn't have better blind box stuff going on, and give me some confetti or something popping out. I don't know, but I like it. I like what I see. I'm like Mo. Give me all the He-Man. You know what I'm saying?
That's my Star Wars, brother. Like I say it all the time. Like He-Man is my Star Wars, which is why I did what I did. You know?
Yeah, like I was that show, Voltron. There was a couple of shows that was just like I OD'd on back then, but yeah, so that really pulled me in. And I mean, then you really tried to hit me in the heart by having Star Wars IP. But then what made me kind of stand offish was the price, because I was just like, damn, like at the time, I think the Lambo drops and all that was going on when I was looking at it. So I'm saying like $40 for this little figure running around in a nowhere zone, or a Lambo taking ill pictures, popping the door open, suicide door leg hanging out. Like, so I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It, like, if I had more money available, maybe I would have pulled the trigger. But then I was like, damn, there's no market. So I don't even know what this is worth. Then I looked at the mint count. It was kind of high. I'm like, you know what? It's really no rush. Like, I didn't really know about the golden ticket stuff until you guys put me onto it or whatever. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy into that. Because, again, when I look at, you know, this goes back to even what Volt was saying about having someone come on the app and look at the ultra rare that costs more and it's more scarce versus the animated one. It's like, again, once you start hitting a certain price point, then I start asking myself, well, before I spend this much, what else can I get for that price? And that's where it starts getting crazy, because, you know, they may not want exactly that thing you're talking about now all of a sudden. They might be like, well, I'll just get the cheaper animated one and get something else over here. So it just depends on the person and how bad they want that thing, I guess. But if it's like a Kang or something, like, I don't know. I don't know how this stuff is going to work, man. I don't know. It's a lot.
So we got that AMA on Thursday. It's actually at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. I plan on asking him about mini games, asking him about when the market's going to happen. And one big question I'm going to be asking him about is how it's going to work, where apparently you get 2 NFTs every time you buy something. You get the character and you get their weapon. So I want to find out if you're able to separate those two, sell them separately, exchange them in between characters. So there's definitely a lot of information that we're going to be finding out for the first time. And that will help you decide if you want to go for that Star Wars drop, because it's coming up pretty soon. And like you said, there's 10,000 editions and no marketplace, so it's not a sure bet to go for. But I like them. I think they look cool. I'll probably at least buy one. I'm not sure how heavy I'll go into them, though. But all right, guys, it's about time to end the Fudders for this week. We do this every Monday. We go over the bad news in the crypto and NFT spaces. And I appreciate you, Dr. Strange, for being on the channel. I'm a big fan of your channel. I'm always watching Stacking and Slacking. I enjoy it a lot. And you've always been a smart guy in the community that I'm always listening to when you're tweeting and such. So make sure you guys follow Dr. Strange on Twitter and on his YouTube channel, which is linked in the description below. And also, of course, BE from the VeVe Drop channel and my man MoKnowz. Thank you guys once again for doing Fudders with me.
Thank you.
Great show. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks, Doctor. Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Vault.
Yes, sir, gentlemen. Doc, pleasure as always, man. We got to get together IRL. Like I said, it's probably like 5-minute hop and a jump. So we'll talk, brother. But thanks again for hopping on, man, and chat. You all have a good night. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching in the chat.
Thanks for having me on,
See you
man.
guys.
Thanks, Doc. All right, later, guys.
All right.